The history of medicine is filled with bizarre and often dangerous treatments. However, some of them are so stupid and ridiculous that they stand out even among the worst practices. Today, I will explain all the idiotic medicine practices, moving progressively from just strange to totally crazy and horrible. Royal touch, also known as the king's touch, was a ceremonial practice in medieval and early modern Europe where monarchs were believed to have the divine ability to heal diseases, particularly scrofula, a form of tuberculosis affecting the lymph nodes. The disease rarely resulted in death and often went into remission on its own, giving the impression that the monarch's touch cured it. The practice was most famously performed by the kings of England and France from the Middle Ages until the 18th century. As medical knowledge progressed, belief in the effectiveness of the royal touch waned, and the practice gradually disappeared. In my opinion, this is so absurd, yet harmless treatment should be on the lowest place. Jar of farts. That was an unusual remedy believed to have medicinal effect during the medieval period. This practice was primarily found in Europe during the Middle Ages, a time when superstition and folk remedies were commonly relied upon for treating various illnesses. It was believed that the foul smell of the farts trapped in the jar could ward off diseases, particularly the plague, by counteracting the miasma, or bad air that was thought to spread illness. People believed that inhaling the strong odor would help protect them from harmful airborne pathogens, which is absolute nonsense. As always, with the advent of germ theory and a better understanding of disease transmission, this practice fell out of favor. Urine therapy. Ah, your favorite, the grandpa peach juice. This treatment refers to the practice of using human urine for medicinal purposes, either by drinking it or applying it topically. Urine therapy was practiced in ancient Egypt, India, China, and among some European and African cultures. Urine was believed to have cleansing, antiseptic, and rejuvenating properties. People used it to treat a variety of ailments, including skin conditions, digestive problems, and even as a general health tonic. While discredited by modern science, some alternative medicine practitioners and enthusiasts still promote urine therapy for its supposed health benefits. However, there is no scientific evidence to support its effectiveness, and it is generally considered unsafe. If you like the video, check out my Discord server, link in the description. Tobacco smoke enema. There were some people that really thought that putting tobacco in your ass will help you to revive from drowning. The tobacco smoke enema was a medical procedure used primarily in the 18th century to treat various conditions. This practice was commonly used along the River Thames in London, where resuscitation stations were set up to revive drowning victims. It was believed that the smoke, when blown into the rectum, could stimulate respiration and circulation. It was also used to treat ailments like headaches, respiratory issues, and abdominal cramps, based on the belief that tobacco's stimulating properties could have a therapeutic effect. The development of more effective resuscitation techniques led to the abandonment of tobacco smoke enemas by the early 19th century. Human fat. Usually it was collected from executed people and sold by executioners. So yeah, that's kind of cannibalism. It was used in the preparation of ointments and salves. It was believed that human fat had special healing properties, especially for treating wounds, arthritis, and bone pain. As medical science advanced and ethical standards evolved, the use of human fat in medicine became viewed as both ineffective and morally unacceptable. Bloodletting. Bloodletting was a common medical practice used for over 2,000 years to treat various illnesses by removing excess blood. This idea was based on Aristotle's theory of the four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile, which needed to stay balanced for good health. Popular during the Middle Ages and Renaissance, it was performed by doctors and barbers using tools like lancets or leeches to treat fevers, headaches, and other conditions. However, it often made patients weaker or caused infections. George Washington is believed to have died partly due to excessive bloodletting. The practice ended in the 19th century as medicine advanced. Medicinal cannibalism. Basically, a more advanced version of human fat. It refers to the practice of using human body parts, such as flesh, bones, or blood, as medicine. Medical cannibalism was common in European countries like England, France, and Germany. It was endorsed by some physicians and widely accepted among the elite and royalty. Powdered mummies were used to treat ailments like bruises and internal bleeding, while fresh blood, often taken from executed criminals or fallen gladiators, was consumed as a supposed cure for epilepsy and other conditions. Aside from the obvious ethical concerns, these practices were not only ineffective, but also potentially harmful due to the risk of disease transmission. Medicinal cannibalism as well as earlier treatment have stopped practicing as medical understanding advanced. We are moving to the top 3, mercury treatment. For centuries, mercury was a common medical practice primarily used to treat ailments like syphilis. One popular medicine containing mercury was calomel. Its use became widespread across Europe from the 16th century onward and eventually expanded to other parts of the world. Patients were treated with mercury ointments, vapor baths, or even oral doses. However, mercury is highly toxic, leading to severe side effects such as tremors, kidney failure, neurological damage, and even death. Looking at the face of this poor soldier, you can understand why it's so dangerous to use it. The practice of using mercury in medicine largely ended by the 20th century as safer and more effective treatments were developed. Trepanning. This is probably the most dangerous and idiotic way to treat mental illnesses and other head problems. It is a surgical intervention in which a hole is drilled or scraped into the human skull. Trepanning has been practiced by various cultures around the world for thousands of years. Evidence of trepanned skulls has been found in prehistoric Europe, South America, Africa, and Asia, making it one of the oldest known surgical procedures. It was often performed to treat head injuries, relieve pressure from skull fractures, or address conditions like severe headaches, epilepsy, and mental illness. The belief was that creating an opening in the skull would allow trapped spirits or excess fluids to escape. I think there is no need to explain that the procedure was extremely risky, often leading to infections, brain damage, or death due to the lack of sterile conditions and proper surgical techniques. Our proud top 1 from this idiotic list takes the lobotomy. Someone may ask why I put it in first place instead of the hole in the skull method, but I have a very good reason. Lobotomy was invented relatively recently, in 1949, by neurologist Antonio Egas Moniz, and shockingly, he was awarded a Nobel Prize for this procedure. At first, doctors would drill small holes in the sides or top of the skull and insert a tool to cut the brain's connections. Later, a quicker method was developed using a tool similar to an ice pick. The doctor would insert it through the corner of the patient's eye socket, just above the eyeball, and move it back and forth to cut brain connections. While the procedure was meant to treat mental illnesses like schizophrenia, depression, and anxiety, lobotomies often cause terrible side effects, including big changes in personality, lack of motivation, emotional numbness, and, in some cases, serious disability or death. Some people argue that, despite its harm, lobotomy helped raise awareness of mental health problems and pushed doctors to search for better treatments. However, this doesn't change the fact that it caused a lot of suffering. By the 1960s and 1970s, lobotomy was mostly abandoned as safer and more effective treatments, like new medicines, became available. Today, there are ongoing calls to take away Moniz's Nobel Prize, as many believe it encouraged a harmful procedure that should never have been celebrated. Since this video will probably come out on Christmas, I want to wish you Happy Christmas and Happy New Year. May your holiday season be filled with joy, warmth, and the magic. My video came to the end. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to check out my Discord server. I want to talk to someone. See you in next videos, if I will be able to make them.